right, going live now. Hitting the go live button. There, we should be live now. Everybody should be hearing us.
Now you say? Oh.
Oh yeah, see, we both sound crisp and clear and awesome. Awesome.
Wait, Stuart, are you on your computer or phone?
I'm on my computer. Sylvia fixed it for me. Almost. We got to put in the. We still got to do the new drive, but we'd found a bunch of shit we could delete.
Excellent.
So now it's not like at the last little stage of life where the computer's like hiccuping every 5 seconds because it doesn't have enough memory.
Captain, can I have more than 1.5 gigabytes to think? No? Okay. Please?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if you don't let me, I will let you. See?
Yeah, see? And it looks good, it sounds good, the picture's been good.
I mean,
Skype picked up for a second, but...
And you look thoroughly themed, so I'm wondering if this is going to be something to do with today. But while you say hi, I'm going to share it straight away.
Yes, share it right away. All right, guys, welcome to the live. Today we're going to be talking about guilty pleasure movies. I'm representing one of them here with Top Gun. It's not on my list because it's actually a pretty popular movie. A lot of these movies you're going to find are pretty popular, but we'll get into that discussion in a second. If you guys want to help out the channel and support us, you can do so by clicking that super chat button and sending us a super chat, getting your comment read, your question answered, all that kind of jazz. We really appreciate it, and it helps out the channel, helps you guys out as well, and makes for a really great conversation. So unfortunately we are starting a bit early today because Samuel does have a meeting later today, a rather important meeting, so we will be keeping this under 2 hours, and we did start an hour early, so hopefully not too many people miss it. It would be great if people tuned in for this. So anyway, yes, if you also want to support the channel, you can join the channel at the rank of Commander, Captain, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, and Federation President. All very great ways to support the channel. Hit that join button and get yourself some cool emojis and stuff for the lives if you choose to join the lives. Because yeah, it's always fun. Also, Patreon/Trekyards is another monthly way to support us, or just use any of the links down below. There's links to Teespring store. There's going to be another store coming soon, but right now there's Teespring and stuff down there, and also the discount codes for Eagle Moss and all that jazz. So lots of good ways to support us and help us out.
And do you explain how we're slightly shorter today?
Yes, I did. That's why we're starting early, and we're going to be a little bit just under 2 hours. But we wanted to get this done and have some fun with you guys. So this should be an interesting discussion for sure.
And obviously the last live was on the Star Trek movies. We are a Star Trek web show. That makes sense. This is unlikely to have a Star Trek movie in it. I won't discount Stuart's list. Who the hell knows? He might double dip. But you know, probably less discussion on this one. But I'm really intrigued because we have the potential of having totally different lists. And
yes, absolutely.
Lists we totally disagree on. Because I know certainly what I was going through, what I thought could be. I was instantly throwing things away. They're like, oh, that can't be guilty. Everyone loves that one. In my head. And so the lines are being drawn quite quickly.
That's the problem with this topic, is because a lot of them are cult classics or became cult classics. They didn't do well at the theater.
Yep.
But later they're much appreciated. Some you rarely hear of, but are still very well respected.
Yep.
So this is an odd one. It's not going to be bad movies at all. This is not we should do another one of those, the top 10 bad movies that we enjoy, which is not a guilty pleasure, really.
Although
I don't know. This is a weird
film
topic
as well. I mean, that's the thing. It's such an open thing. I think each film also will justify in slightly different ways, which is absolutely fine. It's like, it's to you. Like, I know with the thumbnails, I picked 3 ones that started more notoriety, and they're on somebody's list. They were just try and get people interested in the topic. I wouldn't consider any of these 3 guilty pleasures, personally for me.
I would say Mars Attacks, out of the 3 of those, would be the worst of the 3 movies they got there. So,
but you know, it's not on my list. Is all.
Not on my list either. None of those 3 are on my list because those are just good movies.
Exactly.
I would,
But I did see
the ones on my list. It was interesting because they're in really no particular order, but they kind of are.
Yes.
Because it's hard to really order these things. But as I was going through, I'm like, which one would be most embarrassed to tell people I liked if I didn't know the people I was talking to? You know what I mean? It's like when you're with your friends, you're with your group, you're with the chat here, everybody knows what we like. So it's like, I'll tell you I love all these, obviously. But if I just met a group of people, I'm not going to say, hey, I like this movie. So I ranked them according to that. So that might be some indicator as to a guilty pleasure thing. I don't
Guilt
know.
at your pleasure.
Yes.
The simplest
Yes.
term, yeah. Yeah, and like I say, I have slightly different values for each one as to why. And I'm really excited.
Oh,
And
yes.
also, I do want us to interject, because there'll be less of that, I'm sure, today, with do we even consider that a good film to deserve the list for each other? Like, is that, one else might say, that's just a good film, Like, it'll be interesting how that interplays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super chat, Stuart, and then we'll get into the super discussion.
We got some super chats. Olivia Julius, $5. My guilty pleasure movie is Puggy and the Chihuahua. Oh my God. Not a band account, $2. You guys are awesome. Galaxy Quest is so cool. Yes, and thank you. We are awesome.
Thank you.
BJ Vincent, $2. Guilty pleasure movie for me is Event Horizon. Oh, see, I got a list. Of like 20 some odd movies. That one should have been on it. I had to pick the top 10 out of this, so we can definitely do a part 2 of this. But that's a good one.
I did put mine in order, but it's so negotiable depending on how you quantify it. So I think we can both quite happily say it's an order. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the order, because I did do research by looking at other people's lists, because obviously you need to remember things. A lot of these films are obviously smaller films, and as soon as you say things, it's like, oh yeah, that film, the list may or may not change for sure. But Stuart, I went first last time, so you can jump in for your number 10 first.
Okay, before we do that though, 27 viewers, 37 likes. Hit that like button, guys. And we got Captain Chili being it through in $2. Loving the shades, Cap. Thank you. They are prescription, by the way. All right, so number 10 on my list is Armageddon, a Michael Bay feature. This is one of Michael Bay's before Michael Bay became Michael Bay, really. I mean,
well, it was
now
when
he's just known.
It was when he was Michael Bay rather than Michael Bay.
Yeah, explosion pants. Yeah, not a bad movie at all. Did very well at the box office. Great casting, but overall, just kind of a cheesy goddamn movie. And you got like, like Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck. It's just kind of cheesy and chintzy, and you got the Aerosmith score in there. But it's so fun to watch. It's such a feel-good movie because, yes, the planet's going to die. Oh, wait, no. Let's train oil drillers to drill instead of training astronauts to drill, which immediately is stupid. But anyway, so it's my number 10 for... It's not one that, is critically acclaimed, award-winning, whatever. I don't know if it was good for its time, too. So, I don't know. This one kind of falls out of the purview because it was a blockbuster hit.
Yeah, but so are the Transformers, technically. Even the bad ones. You know what I mean? So we can't really use that as a yardstick. Yeah, I mean, this is one that I saw on lots of people's lists on the internet. And I watched it for the first time at university in my third year, so quite not that long ago for the first time. I was like, ooh, I've never seen that. And I loved it. Like, it's you understand this is much more like when people complain against Star Trek 09, it's a popcorn, don't think about it film. This does that right. This is the appropriately said popcorn, don't think about it. But there's so much attention to detail because he's actually a very, very good director. More to his old films than new films, but he's a really strong visual director that gets good performances, has great camera angles, a lot of good visuals. Like, yes, the stories are simplistic, whatever, but he's a very solid director. And a Bad Boys 2 is a tremendous film.
He's also a bit of a genius because for the Transformers films, honestly, he's filming nothing.
Yep.
And then they're adding the CG in later. Like, he's visualizing all that. Yep. And to be able to do that and have explosions going off and know where the characters are going to be, and he's got that. He I don't know. I think it's brilliant. I couldn't do it. I couldn't imagine.
It is very hard.
Yeah, and he's good with commercials as well, and you can tell there's a lot of commercial elements in his movies. So
I know this is not a well received film per se, but I would not consider it. At least wouldn't be in my list. It is such an enjoyable film. I'm not guilty to say I really enjoy it, but I know most people are. I guess I'm just less ashamed for this one.
This one barely made my list, but I thought I'd include it. Like I said, I got a bunch more, but
I think this would have been in my 25th if we had top 25. Like, it is still. I get it. It's still there. But yeah, I saw it was a lot on people's lists. So I was like, oh, I'm getting, but I do get it.
Yeah.
My number 10.
Yes.
I have a pretty varied list. My number 10 is Aden vs Predator Requiem.
Oh. Okay.
So this, I actually have such a soft spot for this for a couple of reasons. First,
I do too.
First AVP, I think it's such a vanilla film. It's like that's what you chose to do with the two licenses. Like it's a better, in some ways, film, but there's no AVP. There's human versus P, human versus A, and then you know what I mean. This film is very atmospheric, brilliant special effects, great concept of the Pred Alien. Lots of AVP fighting, lots of it. The cast is good. It's got good. There's some good reveals, good twists. Okay, it's too dark, fine. I watched it in the cinema, knowing it was getting crap reviews, crap box office, and I went in thinking I'm gonna whatever. And I was like, this is a really fun film, and this is if I want to see AVP, I want to see AVP, and this does that far better than the last one. So I haven't seen it for a while, to be fair, but I walked out and been like, you know what, this is what I wanted from an AVP film, not the first one. So for me. I know people say I enjoy this film.
See, I've only seen this one like twice, maybe. It's in my collection.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it very much, and I don't remember because it's been so long.
Yeah.
I've seen the first one more, and I really enjoy the way the first one's done. The first one should be on my list as well. We're going to keep thinking of other ones that should be on the list. I enjoy the vanilla-ness of the AVP first one. This one I do need to rewatch, though. I just remember there's a lot of dark going on. It's filmed at night. It's very
atmospheric. It's gritty. It's very real. I mean, the fact that the spoilers, the Pred Alien makes more aliens by infecting pregnant women. I mean, the ideas in this are graphic and horrifying, but so logical. You know, it's horribly interesting. Yeah.
I need to go back and rewatch it because I remember liking the first one better, but I'm a huge fan of Predator.
Yeah.
And Sylvia's a huge fan of Alien, so
I think that
this is one I need to go check out again.
And the first like 20 minutes is really solid in this film. It's a very, very good ride. And there's just some good moments. I think it's a good example of less money, more creativity, but you see the less money when they film it in a real place, real town. But I'm not ashamed. Well, I am ashamed. I'm 10th most ashamed. But yeah, for me personally, I like it.
Yeah, well, we should also say whether I really appreciate that that's on your list. Again, that's one that should be on one of my lists in the future. But yes, good call. All right, well, let's get on to my number 9, which is a bit of a cheat.
Ooh, wow! Is it Star Trek 4?
No. It is Ghost Rider, but both of them.
Okay.
Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, the sequel. Okay. Both have their... I really love Ghost Rider as a character. When I was in my teens, I got the new Ghost Rider comic series when it first came out with Dan Ketch, and I have them all upstairs. Like, I loved it. So obviously, the character is near and dear to my heart. Plus, it's Nick Cage. Goddamn. Eva Mendes in the first one. The first one's a lot better than the second one, a lot of people think. And I agree. The second one is a fun guilty pleasure. They've upped the animation and the special effects for Ghost Rider. He looks a lot more gritty and more realistic. He's got Idris Elba in the second one, and Christopher Lambert, and quite a few other great actors as well. But honestly, not as good a story, not as enjoyable. However, when it's on TV, I'll watch it. And I just love Nick Cage. I love Ghost Rider. And even though the stories kind of drag a little bit, the effects are awesome. There's some really cool comic book moments, especially when he's like fighting people. And I really appreciate that. So Ghost Rider definitely, I mean, anything Ghost Rider they make, I'm going to love, even though I haven't really watched the guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that plays Ghost Rider.
Well, he's quite late in the show, isn't he? So you got to watch everything else first.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw like the first episode or two that he was in because I wanted to. It kind of drew me back in for a second, but he drives the car instead of the bike, and it's like, So, yeah, Ghost Rider is pretty awesome, and I've posted on Facebook probably 3 years ago. I was watching it one afternoon, and I'm like, unpopular opinion incoming, and I start ranting on about how Ghost Rider is. Yeah, I do that quite a bit with whether I like a movie or dislike a popular movie. So. Yeah, this one had, and they're both in the same slot because, Yeah, so there you go. Ghost Rider.
So I've never seen the first one. It didn't even know it existed until I was at school and I was invited to the second one in the cinema. I was like, okay. So I had no context. I think they do give a little bit like last time on Ghost Rider in Ghost Rider 2. And I watched the second one and I'm like, this is an awful film. This is terrible as a film. I know the first one was much, much better apparently, but it's like, this is the film they made with Nick Cage and Marvel. I mean, it's obviously pre-Marvel. But I was shocked how not good it was, the second one.
Yeah.
But Nick was good in it, but he's a fun guy to watch, and this is a very good character for him. So I do need to watch the first one. I know you said this to me before. Yeah, I mean, you know, how could you get this wrong as a character? You know, I don't know. You know,
there's not a lot of depth to Ghost Rider though. Like he's basically a tool of the devil, and he collects souls, and he's bound under a contract. So I like, even in the comics, there's different Ghost Riders. There's Johnny Blaze, then there's Dan Ketch, and then there's the other guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. And later, Johnny Blaze separated from the Spirit of Vengeance, or Ghost Rider. It's in Dan Ketch, and they team up together to become part of the Midnight Suns. So like, there's a big crossover thing in Marvel, because them and anyway, we won't get into that. That's another discussion. But anyway, I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan, so I'm sorry that you saw the second one first. You need to see the first one. The first one's a lot better. Yeah.
If you were being brutally honest, right? If you give them out of 10, first one versus second one, what would you say score wise?
First one versus the second one, or
like
just
the first one's a 6, then the second one's a 2, or like what do you give them compared to score wise?
Yeah, first one would probably be a 7 out of 10. Second one would definitely be a 4.5 out of 10. It's not good. Like the story's not good, but the visuals are great. Like the way that the skull is on fire. It's got the like charred parts to it.
Yeah,
that was lacking in the first one.
Yes.
So
yeah. It's like he looked good, but he wasn't doing good things. Although, isn't that the one where he takes control of a thing in a quarry, and he like fire burns people with a flaming?
Yes.
That was
one
great.
of the big diggers.
Yeah, that was real creative.
Any vehicle he confiscates can use the Hellfire. So yeah, that was interesting to say the least. But the kid in that story, and then the old possessed guy, like creepy. It was a good premise for a story. It just wasn't. And also, it doesn't drag you along with it. You have to be dedicated to watch it, otherwise you tune out.
Well, I paid for it from the damn cinema. I was like dedicated. I remember people saying they found it weird that they recast Satan between the two films for no real reason. Second guy's worse, and it's the same basic storyline as the first one with the storyline with Satan. It's like, well, why are you telling the same Nick Cage bit twice? I know there's the kid thing, but it's like it's too much of the same story. But it's not even the same character, not even the same actor to kind of give the same gravitas. Again, haven't seen the first one.
Well,
there's a few things I've heard.
Like I said, there's not much you can do with Ghost Rider, considering that the Ghost Rider that they did was Johnny Blaze, which is the original one. Like they could have made the sequel about Dan Ketch, who eventually gets the Spirit of Vengeance in him. Like they could have done something there. And I think when they revisit Ghost Rider at some point, they'll have a good story idea, because he's always best with team ups. He fought the Punisher. And then they eventually teamed up as well. So there's lots of potential for team ups with him, but he doesn't speak much. he's just one of those characters, you know?
Yeah.
So
nice. Right. Cool.
Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, though, €5. Is there such a thing as a bad Nick Cage film? You guys seen Mandy? I haven't seen Mandy.
I haven't seen Mandy either.
I'm sure there is.
I'm probably Ghost Rider 2 is probably one of his worst, but I know that his recent one, like, getting bad reviews.
Most of his recent ones were straight to DVD, and there's shit like Left Behind, where he's a pilot and stuff like that. So, honestly,
I mean, he was a 2000s and 90s action star, and he's made some pretty. I mean, he might be on my list. Who knows? You know, he's made some pretty interesting films, some interesting choices.
Oh, he's on your list. By the way, you said that.
I think he is. Yeah. Again, I'm already forgetting my list, so let's see what I have, Stuart. I'm honestly forgetting it. My number 9 though is I don't remember what it was. It is Constantine. The Keanu Reeves Constantine. This I think falls into the people that know about it like it, but it didn't get enough people to be a success. I don't think most people could think it was a bad film, but it never had any reach.
I gotta say,
yeah,
I'm a huge fan of it. So
yeah,
that's another thing we should probably do when we announce our movies, is say whether you're a fan of it or not. Because I definitely love the Constantine film with Keanu Reeves. So good call.
I haven't seen the Constantine show, but I've seen Constantine in the Legends show. He's very, very different. And I did watch the panel they did with Keanu and the director, and it was really interesting to hear their vibes. You know, Keanu was really into this film, and he still wants to make. They all want to make a second one. It's so close to style over substance. It's so close, but the substance is quite interesting. It's weird. I think this is very much, as a film, the Star Trek 09, in that if you know about the character, half of it is wrong and butchered.
Yes.
If you don't know about the character, it's like, oh, this is really interesting, and that obviously splits the point of the film. If you're making it for the audience that it already has, this is disliked. But if you make it as a film, and so I see it as you know, other people saw 09. But he does a good performance. He sells it. The visuals are excellent. They hold up today. The color palette's great. We just watched it like 3 months ago. Soundtrack's brilliant. It has some definite dragging moments. The pacing isn't there properly, and definitely some weaker moments. But it's also some very strong moments that you're just like, ooh, who thought about that?
And some great casting. The villains are great in that. And like you said, the visuals are very good. Yeah.
I don't think, though, while I like the lady from The Mummy, I think she's a little bit too plain for this one. They could have done with a more gritty woman to be the secondary. She's not quite as strong. I think because she was popular at the time. I mean, she's fine, but I think it would have been more with a better actress, or at least better for that role, you know? So I think she brings down a little bit. Although I love the twin reveal at the start. It's still a very good reveal. So yeah, I like it. I think it's still a good film. It just doesn't have the reputation it potentially should. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you. And you're right about the character. It does kind of do the character dirty a little bit. Like the guy that plays Constantine in the Constantine series, that was a great series. Shouldn't have been canceled. But yeah, he also crossed over to Legends.
He was great in that.
He is the perfect version of Constantine. So
and it's not John Wick. I mean, Keanu Reeves.
No.
They ain't the same people. But if you don't know, then it's fine.
And Squadra Course puts in $2.
Thank you.
Not a Ghost Rider fan, but I liked him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. See, I'll need to go back and watch those at some point. Just Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. bossed me pretty early on. Sebastian, a.k.a. Space Daddy, €2.
Thanks.
Constantine is a great film. There you go. BJ Vincent, $2. Watch Nick Cage film Willy's Wonderland. Haven't even heard of that one.
Oh, no, that's the new one. That's the brand new one, which is not good, apparently.
Yeah, Car Shop, we're doing an hour early because got to wrap it up before... Samuel's got a meeting later, so...
Yeah, I've got 1 hour left, so...
Yeah.
So your number 8, Stuart, is...
My number 8 is Stealth.
Never seen it. Sorry, just straight out of the gate.
Stealth is a great movie about an AI fighter jet that the U.S. military makes. Again, good, kind of all right casting with the wannabe B-list Matthew McConaughey. You got Jessica Biel, and you got
Denzel.
No, not Denzel. What the hell is his name?
Is that not the guy from the front?
It's not Denzel Washington, no. What the hell's his name? I'll pull that up.
A young one?
No. Anyway, you're pulling it up. So anyway, I'll talk about it. Yeah, so Eddie is the complete package. It's this new AI jet, and it goes kind of rogue, and they have to hunt it down. It kills some of the pilots.
Oh, Jamie Foxx.
It's just a Yes, that's it. Jamie Foxx. Just a fantastic movie about air combat. There's some great visuals in it, like some CGI fighter combat is fantastic. And it kind of did what Firefox, the old Clint Eastwood movie, did, but way, way, way better. And yeah, the jet designs are fantastic, and they integrate so well with real life carrier footage. It's just such a good film for people that like Top Gun and other such films. So it's fantastic. The acting is, I wouldn't say the best, but it is a fun ride, and the visuals and everything definitely make up for the acting kind of faux pas. The story's good too.
Would you say it's style over substance again, kind of like Constantine?
Yes, I would.
Can't have anything to add though. Apologies, but I have not watched it on purpose.
I figured you wouldn't. Yeah, I figured you wouldn't know some of these. I do suggest that you watch these though. The ones that I bring to the table.
But I have heard of it, but I've heard it's like a 5 at best.
Oh no, I'd definitely give it a 7 out of 10. Okay. I like it.
But it was your 8 out of 10.
Sean Corpier.
So.
Shut up. Sean Corpier, $5. Try Equilibrium with Christian Bale. It gives The Matrix a run for the money.
Sean, don't you dare say it's a guilty pleasure film. That's a phenomenal film. We watched it 2 weekends ago. It's phenomenal.
I still haven't seen that.
Ain't no guilty pleasure. It's tremendous. That's like an 8.5, 9 out of 10 film. Bitch. My number 8, yes, is Demolition Man.
Now
perfect. This one, I'm annoyed that people don't like it. I get...
It's one of Sylvia and I's favorite movies.
Yeah, I get why it falls down, but the premise is phenomenal. The acting choice is rather good. They're limited by their own personal abilities, but they bring the best of what those actors can do to the roles. And so they know what they're trying to do inside a film that knows what it's trying to do inside a world. So it's a semi-tongue-in... I mean, it is tongue-in-cheek, but it's a serious tongue-in-cheek. I'll say I do think the second half is weaker than the first half, so much I don't even remember half of the second half. But all of the first hour setup, I'd really, really, really enjoy. You know, having him, get sweared at, having, swears and gets fines. Like, so many good ideas. And it's nice to see the Miss Congeniality lady be like a bit different, and it's fun to see her in this. So I know it's like one of Stallone's like less appreciated ones, but I enjoy the first half a lot. I just think it's really fun and a great idea, like I say.
And even Dennis Leary showing up, like it is a really fun movie. Like I said, it's one of Sylvia and I's favorite movies. We watch it quite often. Simon Phoenix gets taught all this martial arts stuff in Stasis, and John Spartan gets taught how to knit. It's like awesome. So
no, it's just really fun. Yeah.
Well, it's fun when characters or actors like Stallone and Schwarzenegger kind of step out of their tough guy roles to do comedy.
Yep.
And
100%.
One of the best Stallone films, in my opinion, is Arthur, which is a flat-out comedy, and it's fantastically funny. It's really well done. So, but yes, good choice.
Thank you.
All right, so my number 7. I know we're powering through these guys, but
got 57 minutes left.
You guys are.
That's why.
Yes. So my number 7 is Lost in Space, which we talked about not that long ago when we did the review of the series. I think it's great casting, and it's a fun ride. The soundtrack is phenomenal. It's action packed. The last half falls apart for me. Like the last third. The last 30 or 40 minutes is kind of slow and really kind of ruins the rest of the movie, which is sad because the first half is so well done, in my opinion. And Heather Graham, Mimi Rogers, you can't go wrong with the casting. Anyway.
And it's before they were really famous. Like, this was a weird, obviously Matt LeBlanc, while he was famous, but it's an odd cast of, a lot of bigger people while they were younger / middle.
Yeah. And I know you just ordered this one not that long ago. Did you get it yet?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's, is it right there?
Awesome.
This is on my list, so I won't talk about it yet. No.
Well, don't ruin it. Sean Corpier, $5. Arnold Schwarzenegger for president. Yes, I would vote for him if I could, but I'm not American.
For president, sorry? Oh, yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Goodness.
He's already been a governor, so.
I'll have dinner with him. That'd be great. That'd be a good time.
All right, so what's your number 7, Samuel?
Face Off. There's my Travolta. Now, this one I think pushes that limit of being guilty pleasure. I think most people really enjoy this film. I think it was successful. Everyone enjoys it. but I know it also has a rep for being a stupid, idiotic film as well. But I think this one is where, but most people really like it.
Yes.
But I know some people are very like, ugh. Hence why it's on the list. But this is such like a, oh, come on. It's just a really like, not it's a good film, but it knows what it is. It's great at what it is. Both the leads are in their prime and commit fully. And, you know, to see them both play alternate versions twice is really, really, really fun. I mean, it's just a really solid film. And it goes to weird places, it goes to good places. It's unusual. The acting's really good. The gunfights are pretty good. Yeah, I just... It's a good film, but I know it has a bad rap. Very much like Armageddon, I think. But I would say this one has a... Well, it's obviously less money. That's all I'll say. It's less money than Armageddon, because that's like, woof!
It's a long film, too. It's longer than a standard film, and it feels like it when you watch it. I think it's a little bit longer, because every time I watch it, which I watch it quite often, because it is a guilty pleasure of mine as well, it's full of such stupidity. Like, none of it makes any goddamn sense. But that's okay, and there's very visible stunt doubles in quite a few scenes and things like that. So, you know, it's kind of borderline as far as a good movie goes, but good casting for sure.
Yeah, and it's like the one you think of often when you think of like a cinematic crossover, because they both like are fully utilized, which is not always the case. It's very much a duo. Yeah.
Sean Corpier, $5. Yeah, love form-fitting suits in Lost in Space. Oh yeah, absolutely. Speaking of form-fitting, anyway, Olivia Julius, $10. My number 2 guilty pleasure is Top Pug. It's about a pug who gets forced into the military dog training camp and has to prove herself worthy to help fight the Dot, who does a surprise attack at the camp.
Wow. She's turning your pets into people that kill people. Jesus.
It's okay. Oof. By the way, you like my new Top Gun shirt? It's Iceman. It's not Maverick, because I'm more of an ice. Yeah, it's pretty great. Top Gun is not on my list, because Top Gun was too much of a big blockbuster to really be a guilty pleasure, but I've seen Top Gun well over 150 times. Probably closer to 200 by now, but yeah, I watched it a lot when I was younger. So,
it's not on my list because it's not really a pleasure of guilty pleasure.
Oh, that's mean.
It's okay. Doesn't appeal to me really anyway. Just, I don't know.
But speaking of,
I know I watched it in a car on a small screen. I get that, but you know.
Well, it's an 80s movie. You're not an 80s person, so it's cool.
But things should also stand test of time. If they're just based on when the year they're based, then they don't last longer. It's like
Matt Boardman, speak up. What do you think of Top Gun? Come on, you're there.
Oh, he has no credibility to talk about Top Gun. Are you kidding?
Oh, come on.
He knows nothing. He knows.
Moving on, and it's a good segue into my number 6.
Ooh.
It's the final countdown.
Don't even know this
final
one.
Countdown.
Oh.
This is a great movie about the USS Nimitz that actually gets transported back in time.
Whoa.
And 1945, right before the beginning of the America's entry into World War II. So before the attack on Pearl Harbor. The carrier gets sent back. The F-14s launch to find out where they are. F-14s run into some Japanese Zeros and shoot them down. And then the whole thing of, should we stop World War II or the attack on Pearl Harbor from happening? Should we alter time or not? And it's actually, it's a great film. It was one of the first 3D films as well, with the new 3D techniques.
Oh, wow.
I have it on Blu-ray in 3D, but my copy is German copy, and it's not region coded for my PlayStation, so I need to figure that out at some point. But anyway, yeah, great movie, great F-14 footage, and I'm a huge F-14 fan, obviously. So, Sean Corpier, $5. Val Kilmer, all the time, especially in the Saint movie. I prefer him in Tombstone, personally. Matt Boardman, $5. Top Gun is one of my hands down favorite movies. I feel the need for speed. Ow!
You can't be mad at me if I'm not in frame.
Right.
I've missed the
he
sniper.
Can be mad at you. He can be mad at you if you're. Yeah, you can snipe him later, Matt. Olivia Julius, $5. Dot tried to do the face-off thing with Precious, but her snout was too long. That's funny.
Goodness. And
Good
guys, we
call.
are 50% through our needed super chats for the day, so we're doing good so far, given that we're only half an hour in. So that is awesome, guys. So keep up the comments and thoughts. It's going well so far, Stuart. I'm happy.
Yeah.
We were kind of worried about an hour early, but love our regulars.
Yeah, and hopefully people watch this later. Like, there will be a part 2 to this because I have more movies that I could talk about.
And they'll probably just be out of order then. They'll just be things we are guilty pleasure enjoying.
Yeah. Well, like the cast for this one is also great. Kurt Douglas, Martin Sheen. So some really good big name actors. It's a cult favorite film.
So why are you ashamed to like it? Hence guilty pleasure. So I know nothing about it. So what makes it that sort of film?
Well, it's one of those films you mentioned. Yeah, I like the Final Countdown. Everybody's like, huh?
Right. Okay.
They just don't seem to get it. The best thing about it is the F-14 footage. Like Top Gun had some great stuff, but they used every stitch of film, every bit of aerial footage they took, they used in that film. Like nothing hit the cutting room floor. This one has like new F-14 footage, and it's the cameras they used were fantastic. So it's not a guilty pleasure. It's an underappreciated.
That works this as well.
Film.
That works this as well.
Yeah.
Same with Constantine, isn't it? Same thing. Underappreciated.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Tim McCaffrey, $10. Love Final Countdown. It kind of fails the landing. Ha ha ha. But great movie. Yeah, it's one of those ones that the first half is great, like Lost in Space. It's the last half where it kind of falls down a little bit. So
nice.
Yeah.
My number 6.
What's your number 6?
Lost in Space. Excellent.
Oh, so close.
So close. I'm glad you just happened to say Lost in Space. So my rationale for this one, and it's interesting worth mentioning that, and I also had to find a thing for one of the thumbnails I did recently. I like it because it's actually pretty damn ambitious for what it's trying to be. The CG is pretty damn good. It does age the further away from it we are. Especially as now I know visual effects. I see the seams, but back even 10 years ago I was like, that's still really good. I still don't know why they cast the main dad. He's not good. He's not bad, but he has zero chemistry with anybody, and he's not a good actor. He sells the role, but the role is not what you'd want from the role. Everyone else is good though. Everyone else is good. It's just the dad, who should be the core, is not good, and that's a shame. Weird. I'm sure he knew the producer. Like, it feels like it was a nepotism. Like, oh yeah, let's hire Derek because I love Derek. And everyone's like, oh well, I mean, better with the director. And they go on set. It's like, no, this is as far as he goes.
Yeah. Well, I remember what you said about him in the last time we talked about it, and you're absolutely right. He's very flat. Because since then I've watched a review of it. I forget by who, but the one line is, "I love you, wife."
Yes.
It's like, well, for fuck's
No, you don't. No, you don't. Clearly. And it's sad because compare that to the dad in the TV show, who's fantastic. Still stoic.
Oh, yes.
Still, you can see the same characterization, but just a much better actor. And not say he's amazing. He really isn't. But much, much better than this. And I love the idea, and again, spoilers, I love the fact that it goes from one style of film into time travel, which is not what anyone's going to expect going into the movie theatre, then goes into alien shit, then goes into bio-alien shit, then it reverses once more into crash landing film, then the ending no one sees coming. It's like a fever dream sort of ending. Incredible premise, but should have been in the sequel. They shouldn't have thrown in another premise. All you needed was the bugs to get rid of the bugs, and then the sequel be, and now Smith is infected, boom, boom, boom. It's too many ideas for one film that isn't able to realise them properly. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but that's kind of how I feel.
No, I definitely do. There's a lot in the film that should have been maybe parceled out a bit. So,
which is why it's kind of disjointed, for sure. But yeah, I like it. It's a fun film.
So both of our number 6s have time travel in them. That's interesting.
Yeah, nice. All right.
And I said 1945 earlier. I meant to correct myself. It's 1941. Before the attack on Pearl Harbor, so my bad. All right, so my number 5 is Beowulf, the CG one. Angelina Jolie in it, and I forget the actor for the main guy, but Anthony Hopkins is in it as well. It is fantastic, great soundtrack, amazing in 3D, and very well acted. It's just. But nobody seems to like it, or I don't hear much talk about it. It's Oh, you need to see it, dude. Oh, I think it's a movie you'd really appreciate. It's based on the old legend of Beowulf, obviously, so it's classic storytelling. But such a great movie. Just got it on 3D not that long ago, and oh my God, it's fantastic. Fantastic. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just such a great film.
And so, do you think people don't like it just because it's not known? It missed out something.
I think it missed the boat a little bit. It's just it's so underappreciated and not really talked about that. I just wish that more people have seen it, because most of the people I talk to haven't seen it. And it's a bit of a shame because it's such a classic story. Sure, they get a few things but the story has been evolving for hundreds of years. The story of Beowulf. I think it was first documented 100 and some odd years after it originally was supposed to have happened, so a lot changes, right? But this is such a good adaptation. It's also got
wait, so are other people's CG actually in it?
Yeah.
So it's actually an animated movie, but with real likenesses.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie.
Because the poster just looks like a normal movie poster, but it's a full CG movie. Oh.
Yeah, it's fucking great. And it's Angelina Jolie. Look up Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I'm
looking at it. Yeah. Huh.
So
that's weird.
I don't know why it's so not talked about. It does kind of drag in spots, but that being said, it's based on a Viking, a legend. So it's telling a mythical story that's been passed down through the ages. So there's a few dull spots, but it's such a good ride. I really enjoy it. It's a guilty pleasure. I got a whole soundtrack on my phone, which I usually have a few songs from soundtracks. This one I have the full thing. So
wow.
And you like soundtracks? I would suggest you download the soundtrack for Beowulf.
Yeah. It only made 196 million from a 150 million budget, which is why, and if you include marketing, it didn't make any money, and that is an expensive movie. But the director was the director of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, all three Back to the Futures, Forrest Gump, Castaway. I mean, you would think with a repertoire of absolutely incredible films.
I just don't think it was marketed well at the time.
Clearly. Wow, okay. Cool. What do you guys think?
Sean Corpier, $5. Dune with Sting is also also the miniseries from HBO. Yes, just watched Dune not that long ago, actually, with Sylvia.
Yeah, I need to, but you really want
Sean Corpier, $5.
Watch it.
Yeah. I love Beowulf and Angelina Jolie, Hackers, and the Tombstone movies. Hackers is on my list that didn't make this list today, but Hackers is there. And Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, €5. The CGI isn't great in my opinion. Have you seen Outlander 2008? It's a science fiction take on the Beowulf legend. I haven't seen that, and you're wrong about the CGI.
I thought I had, but I haven't seen that movie. Huh.
The CGI is fantastic in Beowulf.
My number 5, though, Stuart, is Ghosts of Mars. Have you seen Ghosts of Mars?
No, I don't think so.
That's the problem right there. So Ghosts of Mars is a John Carpenter film, known for his horror. And I recently got this on Blu-ray as well. The special. There was only one last special edition Blu-ray on Amazon, and I got it, and then it was out of stock. And I was like, oh my god, yes! It was way too expensive, but it was really good. This is absolutely a film I know very few people have seen, and I just rewatched, like I said, for Christmas, and I really enjoy it. It's a horror on Mars, very sci-fi, and yet sort of zombie, but not actually zombie, but zombie-esque. They got the rapper guy in it. They've got early Jason Statham. I know the lead. I think the lead actress is the one from Species, but I don't know her from much. But it's a weird cast, has weird energy. The action's really rather good. It's very gritty. They built a full big set in a quarry in the middle of nowhere, so it's a really both a big feel and a small feel. It's all real, but it's a small real, but it's quite big for what it is. I love the makeup choices. I love the everyone commits. It's just a really odd film, but I really enjoy it. And what it tries to do,
I'll need to check it out.
Yeah,
I'll need to check it out. It sounded familiar, but I haven't seen it.
I don't even know how I saw it, but it's just I just enjoy. There's so much good in this film, and the shootouts are really quite fun, and the soundtrack's good as well. I mean, what do you think? Have you guys seen that? I don't know how you couldn't like this film, but I know people haven't seen this film, and you would think John Carpenter and these actors, you would think people have seen it, but always will look for it. Jason Statham and Ice Cube and Natasha. Hender Spring, but I guess
Nice.
not.
Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, €2. Good pick, Commander. And Sean Corpier, $5. Ghosts of Mars is fun, but feels uncompleted. See, that's the problem with a lot of these films, I think. The first half, or the premise, is really great, but then there's usually a dull spot in the middle or at the end, which kind of ruins the movie for a lot of people, and so they immediately just associate it as a bad movie.
I wouldn't say there's any dull spots. It's because the pacing and tone is so strange. You're always confused in a good way. So there isn't. It's you are left. It's a very much a whodunit. Oh my god, it's hard to explain. Incomplete. I know what you mean. The end doesn't just happen, but it's a lot of build up for a certain amount of payoff, and then it kind of continues, and then it ends. And you're like, huh? Okay then. Yeah.
Okay.
Worth watching.
Well,
I'd love to see what you think. It's a weird one. It's a good weird one.
71 people here, 64 likes. Hit that like button, guys. And the super chats are doing great. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. This has been a fun topic, but we do have to move along quite speedily because Samuel's got to head out soon.
Guilty pleasure. No.
No.
Right, what film
All right, so
just skips out on your bronze? What is almost bronze?
Oh, don't say it like that. Because these are in no particular order. Like I said, don't do that because that just makes this one feel like it should be bumped up. Anyway, number 4 for me is Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay.
Funnest comic book movie ever, even though it's not a comic book. It feels comic booky. The main character just feels like a superhero kind of goof. It's such a good, it's got such a visual language to it, and it's just a fun ride. It's just a turn your brain off. None of it's realistic, but it's so good. There's kung fu. There's some great special effects, and Jack Burton as the main character. Oh, that's the main character's name. Trucker that thinks he's a big tough guy. He's just a complete idiot, and kind of like he's the everyman in a situation like this. Like if you or I got thrown into this situation, we'd be like, yeah, shoot the gun in the air and all the shit falls on you, and shit like that. Fun movie, and definitely a cult classic, but I think it's underappreciated as well, and not a lot of newer people or younger people know about it. It's one of those titles that might ring a bell, but it's not very greatly appreciated, I think.
Yeah, I've only heard like it's a good cult classic. I've never seen it because again, when do you ever feel like I'm gonna go watch an 80s film that may or may not hold up? It's like you don't. There's so many other things to watch and work to do. It's like, but I mean I don't hear anything bad about it. I'm surprised.
Why is the image clipped? Why is the image you got there clipped?
I did do scale.
It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just there's more of the poster to see. So.
Oh well, it's scaled.
And the way it ends too, it could definitely have a sequel, and it feels like it should have a sequel. But
that's all I have. That's all the poster I have. That's all I have.
Oh, that's really, 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 really weird.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they're not. When I went little, you saw Big Trouble in Little China. You saw the big word.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Whatever. Anyway, yes, I would suggest watching.
Oh,
this
it's because we're in.
it's
because it's been 4-3 for TNG. Right, there we go.
Stop it.
Well, there we go. We're no longer in 4-3 for TNG.
Yeah, I would suggest anybody check any of these ones out that I bring to the table because they're all fantastic films. If I say they are, and that's the truth.
The Foley stamp of approval. But I just hear good things about it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm surprised it's on a list, but I mean, hey, let's get into the depth of your guilt and have some counselling about it. Yeah.
Wenlock, £5. It helps if you realize that Jack is the comic relief sidekick, not the action hero in this movie. Yes, the Asian guy is the action. Yeah, but it's just a great film. Sean Corpier, $5. Screamers, Nemesis, and Universal Soldier. Big Trouble is great. Kurt Russell is great.
Well, that's
Kurt Russell is fantastic.
Youngish Kurt Russell, isn't it? Like middle of his career.
Yeah. Yeah, middle of the career for sure.
Mm.
Mark Lawrence,
Mark!
$5.
President!
Pleasure of mine. The Adventures of Pluto Nash. Oh, good God. It bombed, but I love the obscure references, and Randy Quaid is the almost obsolete android.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen The Adventures of Pluto Nash in a long time, but it's one of those things that it's accused for ruining Eddie Murphy's career.
Oh my God.
And it is fun. It is fun.
Oh God. Okay. Just gonna close that.
Olivia Julius, $5. I love Big Trouble in Little Canada. However, I got in really big trouble in staring at Royal Puggy. Oh my good God, Olivia.
There's never ending depth to the humor.
Keep hitting that like button, guys, if
Yes.
you haven't already. If you've hit it once, don't hit it more than once, though, because that just deactivates it. So just hit it once. If it's blue, you did it right.
But you would be surprised how much those likes help the algorithm. You'd be surprised. So if you can, please do. And you can do it on phones and such. But my number 4, the one that did skip out my bronze just, Doctor Who the movie.
The Whovie. All right. Never heard of it.
Well, I mean, you've heard of Doctor Who.
Yes.
This was their American movie.
Never heard of it.
I mean, you're not really a Doctor Who fan, so, like, you like Doctor Who sometimes, so that makes sense. It's okay. So Doctor Who the movie was, Doctor Who ran its course for, like, 35 years, and then the Sylvester McCoy Doctor got cancelled on him, many reasons. And I believe, like, 6 years later, they an entire English team pitched to an American production company, which is kind of funny. And so it counts an American movie, and some British people are like, oh my God, the Americans. It's like, well, English director, English writer, English actor. Like, it's still an English film, you know.
See, Matt Boardman says I didn't know this existed either. So, I'm not the only one.
Well, I don't think Matt's necessarily a Doctor Who fan either. And yes, I would include, if you haven't seen the old Doctor Who, you're not necessarily a Doctor Who fan, because he's an alien that has been existing for 50 years. If you've just seen the new stuff, you're not really a Doctor Who fan. You like the new Doctor Who. It's a difference. What I love about this film is... Because this Doctor is my favourite Doctor. He was in this movie,
nice.
One webisode, and he's in the most popular audio adventures. He has the most of them because he's most popular. He encompasses everything. It's like Pierce Brosnan is an amazing James Bond. He kind of encapsulates everything you think James Bond should be. This guy is just an amazing performance as the Doctor. I've met the guy many times. He's the one I have the full costume of, and he loves me in it, etc. You know, he's very positive. The fact that it starts with the old Doctor, they bring him back after like 6 years not being him and have him send off. It's not the best story, not the best anything, but I really enjoy it. I love his performance. I love the music. The villain's good. Doesn't make all the most sense, and it's definitely a half retcon as well as a half reboot retcon, but it also is half real canon. It's kind of a weird one. But just it actually puts so on the TARDIS design is phenomenal. That interior is the best it ever looked. So it got so many things like so right, but the story is like a BC. But it got so many things right. I mean, it was a backdoor pilot. It was meant to be, we're going to put the money in props and costumes and sets. So when we get the series, oh, no series. So they invested in so it annoys me that it wasn't picked up. But, you know, I really enjoy it. And like I say, I love the Doctor in this. I think he's just incredible. Yeah.
Well, I have nothing to add, but a lot of people are saying even though they like Doctor Who, they haven't really heard about this. So.
Well, again, if you've only liked the new Doctor Who, you're not going to go back and watch the old Doctor Who so much, and that's fine. And you know, it didn't really succeed in the American market, which is what it was made for, and so that also explains why you haven't heard of it, because it would have been American if it was American. But yeah, it's you know, it's a pretty decent movie.
Sean Corpay, $5. Love it. The only '90s Doctor.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. All right, so my number 3, because I want to get these knocked out before, and then we can have a discussion at the end if you have time. I don't want to get you caught. My number 3 is Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
I hear only bad things about this, so tell me about it.
Oh man! Again, it's one I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Because I don't own it, unfortunately. I need to pick it up. I just love the gritty kind of visual story, like the visual effects that they have. It feels like bringing a comic book to life, like Sin City almost, but different.
Really? That's all I've heard about it.
Yes.
Wow. Gritty.
Also a good cast. You got Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie. What the hell's the guy's name? He's on the poster there, the first guy. Anyway, story, but it's very much a it's very much a visual movie, and plus it incorporates like World War II planes, but with modern. It's steampunky, and that's really really neat. I do like the World War II aesthetic, but with the more modern. It's a fun take on how universe could be, an alternate reality, and I just think it's a fun ride. It's not much else to say about it, because I don't really remember the plot because I haven't seen it in forever, but I know that it's one that I keep forgetting about myself, and then I'm like, oh, Sky Captain, I gotta get that. So it's going to be in the Amazon cart soon, I think.
Yeah, that was fun for me when I did my Blu-ray buy. It's like, oh my god, this film. I forgot this film, yeah. So all I know about this film from the reputation is that it was all about CG, no story, and the green screen's not very good. Like, it was ambitious but not achieved well because they did too much. Like, it was like 10 years too early for the scale. It's kind of like, if Avatar was done 10 years earlier.
That's the thing. That's the thing. The scale was too grand for sure for the time,
and it just looked silly in the context. But that's a great cast. I mean, a lot of engines. But yeah, I can't say anything. All I know is it's a silly one to avoid. But it feels like probably one is like you have some drinks with, like you and me on the sofa. We've got 3 beers. We expect to finish at least 3 and have 3 more potentially. Sort of film.
Yeah.
In a good way.
I need to watch it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What's your number 3? What's your bronze?
Is Angelina Jolie as well. Wanted.
Wanted.
What? Why are you laughing?
Oh, we got a story about Wanted, Sylvia and I, from when we were in the Dominican Republic with her dad.
I'll do my thing first, then you can jump in. So I don't know why people don't like this film. I kind of do, but I think this is a really rather good film. The acting's great. The premise is great. The effects are great. The pacing's pretty good. Some of the action scenes are fantastic. The soundtrack is excellent. It has a really, really good cast. Yes, the end's a bit weird. Fine. I mean, but for some reason people don't like it. For some reason people don't like it. Maybe because it's too gimmicky, but it's a fun gimmick, and it's almost because I don't know. I like it so much. People don't like it. I don't know why, and therefore it has to be higher on my list because I think it's great.
That's one of the problems with my list too. It's like I love these movies. I don't know why people haven't heard of them or watched them. Wanted is the one where they're like curving bullets and shit,
bullets, yes.
Oh, you just froze. Are you there? Hello.
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 There we go. Hi. Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes, they're assassins that curve bullets. Yes.
Yes. Okay. First of all, I don't think I've ever seen the complete movie all the way through. But we were in the Dominican Republic, and Sylvia actually tells this story. It was Jamaica?
Yeah, we were in Jamaica.
Okay, she tells this story a little bit better. She's right here off camera, so she'll tell you real quick.
Okay, so we were all getting very intoxicated. And my dad needed to take a break from the festivities. And he goes, sits on the bed in the hotel room, and the TV is on, and there's a trailer for the movie Wanted. And he gets fixated on this trailer. He's like, what's Wanted?
Hold on, he's high. We were all smoking weed because it was Jamaica. Anyway, go ahead.
So he starts going, who's wanted? What's wanted? Where's wanted? Why is this wanted? And he, for like 3 minutes, was just saying the word wanted over and over again in sentences. He's never seen the movie. FYI, we had to remove him from that hotel room.
With the whole family there, so yeah.
We're just watching him going on about wanted.
Yeah, what's wanted? Why they want it?
Who wants it?
Thank you, babe.
You're welcome, dear.
So yeah, Wanted always makes me laugh whenever I hear that.
Have you seen do you like the film though?
I've liked what I've seen, and I know MythBusters did a thing with curved bullets thing, but I have not watched the whole film all the way through. I'm guilty of that, so I need to watch it.
Did you like what you saw though? I mean, do you have good vibes of it, or not so much? Or
yeah, it seemed like a fun movie for sure.
And a great cast.
It just seemed kind of dumb.
Yeah,
like dumb premise.
But it's a premise.
But most of these are even on my list.
Yeah, well, it takes itself fully seriously, and so it's just like, well, that's the baseline. I mean, it's only silly because we think it's silly, but they approach it as serious. Yeah.
And Area 51 says, "How's it going, Mav?" Well, first of all, I'm not Maverick. I'm Iceman. But anyway, it's going well. All right. Matt Boardman loves Sky Captain movie and the soundtrack. It was ahead of its time for sure. Sean Corpier, $5. The Time Machine from 2002. Guy Pearce. I've got that. My all-time favorite movies. Also a great movie. The Prestige is also great. So
yeah, Time Machine's just fine for me. It's okay. It should have been more gritty and more interesting, but it's okay. I like the visuals.
The original one's better. The original 1960s.
Probably. I do like the visuals. I like
it's more in line with the books. So.
Yeah. Guy Pearce is good though. I like Guy Pearce just fine.
Sean Corpier, $5. James McAvoy. It's one of my favorite actors. Yes.
Yeah, he's very likable, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So my number 2 rhymes with 2, ironically, and I didn't even know this. My number 2 is Clue. The best movie based on a board game ever. Tim Curry as Wadsworth is fantastic. Leslie Warren is in this. There's, again, such a fantastic cast. And I was big into mysteries and stuff when I was a kid, and I always wanted to do a solve like the murders host party thing. I even designed my own games for it when I was a teenager. Wow. So this was big. Plus, I love the estate in it, even though it's only a set. Like the sets are amazing. Fun ride. Alternate endings. There's like 3 different alternate endings that at the time they showed different endings in different theaters in different cities. So if you saw it and a friend of yours saw it in a different city, they would have a different ending.
Wow.
So on the DVD and Blu-ray, all the endings are there. How it could have happened, but maybe this happened, but how it actually happened. And I think that makes for a much better experience because the actual how it actually happened experience has a lot more acting from all the actors to kind of round out the movie. But it's such a great movie. I absolutely love Clue.
But why? Guilty pleasure.
Why is it guilty pleasure? Because again, a lot of people. Well, see, this one has a lot of. This is another cult classic movie, and because it's got Tim Curry in it, a lot of people watch it just for him, and end up really liking it. So. Again, it is one of those ones that was undermarketed, and because of the gimmicky ending thing, didn't go over well at theaters, I think. And so in its video format with all the endings on there, it feels like a much more complete piece and makes a lot more sense. But it's so you can't really solve the mystery by watching it and looking for clues because they kind of made it that way so that anybody could be guilty. But it's a fun ride, and it's like I said, the best movie ever based on a board game. So. Oh,
so have you seen Battleships?
I have seen Battleship, and that should honestly be on a guilty pleasures list because it's very Michael Bay Transformers.
I like it.
It's like a Transformers movie.
It's not bad though. It's probably on the top 25. I think it's actually pretty decent in like a fun way. People are asking what number we're on. Yeah. We are on our silver right now, so we're right at the end of the list. Although if you want to briefly read. Where is it? Where did it go? A little late to the game. This is a comment.
You guys make my day.
Thank you. Very kind.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate that. This has been a really fun discussion, and I wish Samuel didn't have to leave because this is one we could talk about for probably a little bit longer, but that's okay.
Yep.
We got some super chats, though. Mark Lawrence, $5. No Time for Sergeants from about 1958. Andy Griffith, pre-Andy Griffith show, just hilarious. Cool. Haven't even heard of that one. Captain Chili Bina, $5. Communism was a red herring. Such a good movie. Yes. And yeah, Christopher Lloyd is in this as well. Before he was Doc Brown.
After he was Taxi, though, I'm assuming.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Starring Sean Corpier, No Time for Sergeant was great and hilarious. Okay, got to check that out, I guess.
Yeah.
And Sean also puts another $5. Battleship was so fun. Yeah, but it just feels like another Transformers sequel.
Yeah.
It so easily could be.
It does take itself more seriously, though. Like the way they do the reloads, and it's... I say that as says it sounds, but it isn't just pew-pew. Like there's some naval logic to it. Like it's almost... But obviously, of course, it's about the battleships. And the soundtrack's good, too. And Rihanna's not bad in it. She ain't bad. She's not amazing, but she has no right to be amazing, you know? Reason why she would be.
Devo77X. Flames. Flames. I hated her so much. Flames on the side of my head. It was the only improvised line in the whole movie from Madeline Kahn, but it's so fucking hilarious. It's a great line. Anyway, Eugene, 500 rubles. Did you guys start earlier, or it's YouTube shooting curved notifications? We started an hour early because Samuel had something to do today. So unfortunately, yeah, go back and watch it though. It's been a fun discussion for sure. So
and you guys have come out with the super chats, and that is obviously allows us to keep going. So instead it gives us the chill fact, doesn't it? If we know we're here at the minimum, it's like, yeah, we're chill, nice and chill.
Yeah.
So my number 2, what did I say? Let's find out. I can't remember. My number 2, Jumper.
Oh, great movie.
So yeah, no one likes this film. Why does no one like this film? I think this film's great.
I like this film.
Thank you, Stuart. There we go. High five, Stuart. So I think part of this though is that this came out at a certain time when I always wanted if anyone ever asked me what ability do you want, it would always be teleportation. That's always been my like one. So this film was like me. It's like haha. And I mean, it seems the post it's directed by Born Identity and Mr. Smith, both phenomenal directors, like both very good films. It's visually a good film. Samuel Jackson and Hayden do a great job. I like the love interest subplot. I like the build. It's a nice, gentle build. I like, the effects are good. They hold up really well. Seeing him jump from his couch to his, because he doesn't have to walk, so he's jumping just to get cereal, like 5 jumps just to eat cereal. And it's like, you could just, walk, but it's just not how his brain works. The fact that it goes so deep and dark is certainly odd. And Sam Jackson with white hair is odd as well. But they take it so seriously and it gets quite creative. I'm not sure. People don't like the film in general, I think. Or at least it's a very film. I wish it was obviously a little bit different second half. But I think it's a great, fun idea with a lot of fun stuff in it. And I don't know why people don't like it as much. Guys, you tell me. Do you like Jumper? I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's like it's another spin-off of Star Wars. Lovey Julius, $5. It was the puggy with the squeaky toy in the doggy house. Yes, that's the murder.
That's good.
Sean Corpe, $5. The better Star Wars movie.
He is probably better in this than he's in Star Wars. Sorry.
Well, I think that's up to directing, or down to directing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Wasn't directed well. He's actually a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
All right. How much time do you have left?
23 minutes.
Okay, perfect amount of time for our last ones.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my number 1, which I think might be the same as yours, I just have an odd feeling, is The Last Action Hero.
Oh.
The Last Action Hero was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, I know, and Sylvester Stallone, as the Terminator.
Oh yes,
You're
right.
correct.
Yeah. This is such a meta, fun movie, and it gets for some reason, it gets the shit end of the stick as far as being known about and liked. It crosses over with cartoon reality. He's an action hero. When the kid gets sucked into the movie, so all the action cliches are there in the movie. You see weird shit going on at the police station, and then he gets pulled into the real world, and it's not at all like that. Like everything goes right for him in the movie, nothing goes right for him in the real world. It is just fun. It does the same thing as Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Cool World with mixing animation and stuff in, but to me it's a lot better, and I don't know why it's not better received. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is great in it. Like I said, when the tough guys step out of their tough guy roles to do the comedy, it's usually on point. Like I love him in Jingle All the Way and stuff like that as well. He's just such a great actor, even though he's Arnie all the time. This is just a fun movie, and it's got a great bad guy. It's just a fun ride, and it's just definitely a turn your brain off popcorn. Enjoy the hell out of it. Trying to get all the references, like you said, Sylvester Stallone as the Terminator is in there, and there's so much great stuff in here. the last action hero, guys. Come on.
See, I think I'll disagree about it's a turning your brain off film. I think it's actually really not, because it challenges you in that, yes, it's meta, but also it takes you through the conceits of living in an action film, then takes you out of that.
Yeah.
So it is not a turn your brain off. You're constantly changing your perception and anticipation. You think you're one step ahead. The kid thinks one step ahead. Arnie doesn't. No, I think it's absolutely the opposite. I think it's a really thought-provoking, it's a really good journey, because it's a journey. And you get 2 full films. We get 3 full films. You get a weirdly dark prequel, with the kids getting robbed. Then you get a really fun action romp. There's a really fun action romp. Then you get a really dark action romp, which is dark and very serious and gritty. And then you get a weird sort of comic book ending. And Arnie gets to play the entire range. He even calls himself an arsehole or something similar. You know, he gets to insult himself. And as my dad always says, the fact that Arnie would agree to play himself as a jackass with his wife at the time, looking at him with sort of ugh. Like, the fact that he was willing to play that, make fun of himself, shows he's a great guy. You know? Like, most actors won't do that. And he makes Arnie look a bit of a dick in this movie. And that takes some balls to do, you know?
Yeah, that's right, because he's Arnold Schwarzenegger in real life. Yeah.
And it's not that he's playing Arnie like a dickhead, just like Arnie's a bit arrogant and he's just playing him in a different way.
Yeah.
He's
kind of doing the action hero
cliche.
Actor cliche of kind of being a dick and self-absorbed, and yeah.
For what limited time Arnold Schwarzenegger gets in a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Jack Slater gets a lot of screen time as Jack Slater and as Hamlet.
Yes, thank you.
Probably
Jack Slater. That's the name. I couldn't think of the name.
Probably one of the best Hamlet performances of all time. I mean, I don't think we can disagree with that. I'm still shocked that wasn't made into a movie after this. Like, if this had been successful, that would totally have been a movie, or even like a short with Arnie, because that would have been you saw Hamlet as a joke, now see Hamlet as a real film.
The character from The Simpsons, the action guy, what the hell's his name? I think it's taken from this, because it's very much Arnie.
But
even the same kind of clothes, like the red.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's the character's name again?
I don't. He's also Austrian, which does help to limit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. Well, he hasn't been in it for a while. He was a 90s or 80s character. But Stuart, do you want to know my number one?
I definitely want to know your number one.
Yes, guys, I did just swap the picture. Doesn't look like it, but I did swap the picture. Mine is also Last Action Hero. But I did mention it to you offhand the other day, which doesn't really help.
The other day, I remember you talking to me about it like a year ago about how your dad really likes it. And...
Oh yeah, that too. But I mentioned it on the live about it. Yeah, I mean this is the most annoying for me. It's a really, really good film that has a bad rep. It shouldn't have a bad rep, and it's one of Arnie's best performances because, like, obviously he's brilliant as the Terminator, but it's a very certain sort of performance. He's great as the comedy, silly character, but that's also very specific, like he's making fun of himself. He's all of those things. Like, when he listens to music in the kitchen with the mum, like, he plays all the branches of character. That's a lot of range. I mean, they're all within the Arnold range, but it's a lot of range. And this film, my God, the fact it didn't get sequels, I mean, this should have been a massive blockbuster success. It's just a bit... Hold on, guys. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, you cut out for just a second.
Yeah. I'm saying this film,
Hello.
of all the films he did, should have had many sequels. Because you can imagine, him going to go back into the film and see Jack Slater 6, and now Jack Slater's changed, and then they realise that now, Danny has changed his universe too much, and has to go in and make him more like himself. Like, this was ripe for sequel after sequel, having fun with it. And then you could have had, Predator or Alien meets Arnie, because they could have had, meet the first crossover of this, and then they can, it's such a ripe concept. And yeah, the villains are phenomenal, There is some slight drops in quality in the film, for sure. Like, little moments, but they're like a 5-minute blip, It's weird. It's like, doop,
Yeah.
it's shocking it's not... This should be one of his best, Shocking to me.
Rainier Wolfcastle. That's the guy's name. Thank you.
What do you guys think? Back us up with this, please.
Yeah, I want to read a few super chats,
Yeah.
But right after I read this one, Donnie Pearson says, "Can the 1995 movie adaptation of Mortal Kombat be a guilty pleasure movie?" Held to the yes. It's also on my list here. I've got a list of quite a few, but I had to pick. So, but yes. Let's see. Sean puts in $5. Species and 6 Day. 6 Day is great.
I like 6
That is
Day.
another great movie.
I
do too.
It's on my secondary list, but I haven't seen it in a while, so I couldn't talk about it too much.
Yeah, I literally saw it 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
Good soundtrack. Quite haunting.
Oh, well, there you go. Eugene, 500 rubles. Stay thy hand, fair prince. Who said I'm fair? To be or not to be? Not to be.
It's brilliant! It's frustratingly brilliant. In black and white, except the muzzle flashes.
Yeah.
And the blood.
Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, €2. Cap, The Hard Way with Michael J. Fox is similar. That's one I haven't seen forever. Don't remember much about that one, to be honest. And BJ Vincent, $2. The movies Titan AE and Disney's Treasure Planet. Yeah, Titan AE was. Oh, I remember the ramp up to that. It's gonna be the next Star Wars. Not so much. It's all right.
That's definitely was on my again. I wrote down my potential list, but it's actually a good film. Like I don't know. It's just a good film. It might be the best film, but I don't think it's disliked by anybody. You know, it's a good film. Just didn't quite have the spark, like you say, but it wasn't a bad film. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we got 96 likes. Can we get 4 more likes to get to 100?
Yes. 5 or 6
And I don't know, Matt, if you want to start sniping for the last super chat slot now and
$16. That's all we need. $16.
Aim at Samuel because he doesn't like Top Gun.
I don't dislike it. I don't not like it. Oh.
It's what made me the man I am today, Top Gun. So
goodness.
You better fucking like it.
Goodness.
Look what I'm wearing, for fuck's sakes.
And I was honestly thinking you were going to then say Top Gun is number 1. Like, I assumed... Because to me, it's low down on the ranking of real films. Like, okay, so I assumed, Top Gun.
Ooh. Oh, you just heard that live here, guys.
Because I would consider that more of a guilty pleasure film than like an actual film. Would be how more I would consider it. Well, I mean, we're just like these films were all like, big celebrities in these films, not like because Tom Cruise.
Yeah, most of these have fantastic casts.
Yeah,
like Jesus.
Like I'd definitely rather watch Wanted than Top Gun. There's way more in Wanted I like, and certainly this film. I mean, this film is much more interesting than Top Gun. Holy shit! Not even the same category.
George Knees, €2. For me, Conair is a guilty pleasure. Well, yeah, most Nick Cage films I think probably are.
But I think Conair is enough good to be not guilty pleasure. It's like, I think more people.
Cyrus the Virus.
Yeah, like people judge Face Off. People don't talk about Conair as much. I don't think they judge it as much. That's that line.
Cole Meany's in Conair.
Is he? Oh yes.
He's the one that owns the car that gets crushed.
And the Russian guy, it's a Russian everything. The best film Russian. There's not Russian. But guys, tell us right now: is Last Action Hero a good pick for number 1 guilty pleasure film, or is it just a really good film? I want to know. Spam the chat right now.
It's funny that it's both of our number 1s.
Yes. It's our only shared thing. It's number 1. That's quite impressive. Let's be honest. And you guessed it. Surprising. Well done. Matt
Boardman, $2. Snipe.
Missed.
Dodge that one. Sean Carpier, $5. Samuel said, what?
You heard me.
He said that Top Gun is not a real film.
Well, it's more a guilty pleasure than a real film, yes. Just like some of these are, It's so little.
Oh, Chili Vina puts in $2 and says, I have to agree with Sam on Top Gun.
Thank you. Just not much substance.
Don't know where it's at. It's fine. No, it's fine.
Guys are $1.35 away. And we got 100 likes. $1.35.
Ooh, yeah, we did hit our 100 likes.
Well done, Stuart. This was good. I'm glad you're feeling.
This was fun.
Glad you're feeling.
Fun.
I'm sure it's probably re-energized you as well a little bit.
It has.
attempted
I'm still feeling kind of off, but I didn't want to portray that here, so nobody knew, and now you ruined that. So
No.
yeah, I'm not feeling the best. But
Yeah.
but yes, this was a fun discussion, and I enjoyed kind of stepping out of Star Trek for a minute or two because it was awesome.
And so did you guys, which is really nice for us because it's very palate cleanser. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Soldier with Kurt Russell, and Final Countdown for me. Yes, sir. And Eugene, 250 rubles. Last Action Hero is not a guilty pleasure. It's just a pleasure. Just like Treasure Island and Atlantis by Disney. Yeah.
I've only seen parts of Treasure Planet. I haven't seen all of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it all either.
And then Sunday
At
at
7
GMT, which is 3 your time.
That's later than we agreed on.
Well, I said 6 was my meeting, so.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's late. Fuck.
It'll just be a shorter live, meaning a normal drunk live, meaning a normal live that's drunk. So one time the time zones.
There'll be a live on Sunday sometime. That's all I can say.
Yes.
I can neither confirm nor deny the time.
It's the shade that make him shady.
We need to. Samuel and I need to talk about that.
Yes, but I've been trying to track down the lead actor of Distant Hope for many weeks. I finally got him. So I'm like, oh, grab that while I can.
Squadron Course, $2. This was fun. Good luck at your thing, Samuel.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So everybody wishing good.
Yes. It's a domino effect. It's a domino effect sort of thing. So if this thing goes well, it'll mean more things go well. So you guys enjoy the results.
And the Paradigm, but none of the thumbnail movies was on the list. Nope.
Well, if we had put them, A would be a spoiler. I have to ask Stuart his list. Either I give away 3 of mine on the thumbnail, or I know Stuart's list ahead of time. So I had to pick films that weren't on our lists, probably, but that would get views. Like, wouldn't them be anticlimactic? Like, part of the fun is not knowing our lists. It's part of the fun. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes hard to do.
Area 51, $5. Top Gun is a real film. Don't make me buzz the tower. Honestly, you should have just probably put like nice movie font of some kind, guilty pleasure. I don't know.
But I mean, look at Grapthar's hammer guy. He is not amused. I just thought it was funny. I know onto the Akax because that'll be funny. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
John Woke, $2. Did anyone have Hunt for Red October? No. That's probably genuinely a good movie, I think. So.
You just made me remember the other Nick Cage Nick Cage, where he's the other is the see how long it takes you to get it. Nick Cage, Sean Connery, Michael Bay.
With The Rock.
I like that film, but I think people don't like it. But I think it's a great film.
That's a pretty loved movie. I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure movie.
Okay, good, because I hear people judge it. I'm like, what? It's great. Okay, good.
No.
For you. All right, Stuart. Have a great rest of your evening, and you too, all of you. Thank you for the bits and bobs, and thanks for the good lucks, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.